After killing the Neomorph and confronting David at gunpoint, Captain Oram made a remark that raised a few questions about the character. "I met the devil when I was a child, and I have never forgotten him." So what exactly did he mean by saying this, and what happened in his childhood to bring this encounter into significance when speaking to David? While this may be interpreted in different ways, a possible clue behind the gravity of this remark may begin with Elizabeth Shaw's transmission intercepted by the crew of the Covenant, and Oram's own interpretation of the chilling message. While in the film version of Alien Covenant, the discovery of song lyrics "Take Me Home Country Road" by John Denver, sung by Shaw, was acknowledged quite quickly, though in the novelization there's a little bit more effort and extra steps taken to decipher the transmission. When originally heard by the crew, the transmission was just about close to complete gibberish at first thought, almost sounding human, almost sounding like English, but with nothing in the audio or hologram making any coherent sense. They debated amongst themselves, suggesting the possibilities. Maybe it was only a partial transmission, maybe there was too much of an echo on the recording, causing distortion, or perhaps even the flare that damaged the vessel may have affected the audio and caused it to scramble. No one was quite sure, that is until Captain Oram recalled experiences from his youth that provoked an answer to the mystery of the rogue transmission. The novel depicts the following. There was an undertone of remembrance in Oram's response. "It's like," he murmured, "I remember." Aware that everyone was staring at him, he explained in a more normal voice, "I was raised Pentecostal. Religious denomination, real old-time fire and brimstone." He indicated the hologram. "During meetings you'd hear stuff like that. It's called speaking in tongues. Words sound familiar, but they're just off enough so that they don't quite make sense. Not to outsiders anyway. If you were in the congregation, it all sounded just fine. So I'm thinking one possibility. It might not do a thing, but..." He raised his voice slightly. "Mother, slow the signal. Search for discrete word patterns within the transmission. Discard anything that doesn't fit. Excerpt and compile, and reverse it." God's language inverted. Oram was speaking as much to himself as to anyone on the bridge. The language of lies, the devil's tongue. While it's a widely held belief that speaking in tongues is considered a divine gift and a phenomenon by God speaking through his followers, it remains controversial, and others believe speaking in tongues can also be the work of Satan, which is what seems to be suggested by Oram's mention of the language of lies and the devil's tongue. This could suggest that when Oram says he met the devil, it wasn't necessarily a one-time, literal encounter, but rather an occurrence to which he repeatedly would bear witness. This character background is further supported by comments made by Billy Crudup when he was asked about the meaning of the line in an interview. He acknowledged the Pentecostal upbringing as referenced in the novel and expands on the character's life growing up within the denomination. He explains, "If you didn't behave properly, you were physically assaulted, and you were taught in a very strict way what the rules were, what was right and wrong." And he suspected, too, that the people who taught him weren't as morally strong as they put out, and they just beat the hell out of him. I think that, to him, was an expression of the devil. With that in mind, it's likely that David, in his perfect composure and persuasive manner of speaking, with his own insidious motives and his own lies, reminded Oram of that chapter in his life. Oram, understandably still shaken from the events that just unfolded, spoke in a way that, as described earlier when overviewing the transmission, was speaking as much to himself as he was to David. Regardless of the wording, though, his intention was to let David know he could see through his lies, and demanded the truth. With the limited background we have on Oram and his upbringing from the novel and the actor's own words, do you think that this is the most appropriate explanation for his remark? Can we define Oram's meeting the devil as religious hypocrisy and physical abuse? Or do you think there's some other explanation, something deeper and darker that has yet to be revealed? Comment below and let me know your thoughts. And as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button, and you can also subscribe for all the latest videos from the channel. If you have a suggestion for a video, please feel free to comment below. I'm always curious about the topics you want to see covered, and always eager to get to them. And in the meantime, you can catch up with Alien Theory over social media. You can follow Alien_Theory on Twitter and Alien Theory YT on Facebook and Instagram for more. And until next time, this is Alien Theory, signing off.